This is the book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 11. Salakia, I will start from verse 7. And they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be? And what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass? Verse 11. And great earthquakes, shall be in divers places, and famines, and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall be there from heaven. Remember, a couple of days ago we had the aligning of the planets, right? And in the past we had various blood moons. Those are signs from heaven. And these nuclear missiles is going to create earthquakes upon the earth. Shalom, giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakah Kadash. Double honors unto the elder apostles, elder bishops, and brothers at Great Millstone. Salutations to the brothers teaching the likewise doctrine, and a shalom unto the hopeful elect. This is your brother Rai Banyamian, here to share another lesson. The title of this lesson: Earthquakes will play a major part in Babylon's, aka America's, destruction. Lord willing, this lesson be edifying unto the elect. Per the Daily Mail by Stacy Laboratory, it says U.S. nuclear missiles testing facilities rattled by more than 100 mysterious earthquakes. Alright, it's not a mystery. Yahushai prophesied that these earthquakes would be signs unto the end of Esau Edom's rulership, ushering in his coming, and then on to a new kingdom upon the earth built on righteousness. Alright, so Lord willing, this will cause you to repent and seek Yahushai before it is too late, because the days are evil and the time is moving very quickly. At least 127 earthquakes have been recorded in a highly restricted region of central Nevada that contains several major U.S. military nuclear-related facilities. The seismic activity began on Saturday, with the latest tremor detected on Wednesday. The quakes range from a magnitude of 4.5 down to about 1.4, striking in the vicinity of the Tonopah test range, sometimes referred to as Area 52. The remote military range near the town of Tonopah is not primarily used for nuclear detonation, but it has long been linked to U.S. nuclear weapons program. The site is used to test how nuclear weapons would be delivered, including experiments where aircraft drop non-nuclear versions of the bombs to study their performance. It has also been used for missile and aircraft testing during the Cold War, hosted experiments in which mock nuclear bombs were dropped to simulate real weapon deployments. The earthquake swarm is also outside of the Nevada National Security Site, which is currently active in the nation's nuclear programs. Scientists say the large number of earthquakes near Tonopah is most likely linked to the region's natural geography. Right, that is their excuse to keep the public quiet. But as these earthquakes happen and as these tests happen, people is going to link these tests and these earthquakes synonymously, right, and protest these governments, right? See the comment section real quick. One guy said they're shedding lies. Never thought of it this way. So they already know that they are using lies to keep the people quiet, right? And that'll take me to the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9 and verse 3. And it says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shall thou well understand that the Most High speak of those things from the days that were before, even from the beginning, right? So the Most High, he gave warning. Yahweh Shai give warning of these signs and these effects and these wonders, and earthquakes being part of them. Verse 5, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs, right? So these things are signs of the end of the earth. Not the end of the world per se, but the end of Esau Edom's rulership. The area sits within the Basin and Range Province, a vast stretch of western U.S. where the earth crust is slowly pulling apart. As the land stretches, stress builds along hundreds of underground faults that periodically slip, triggering earthquakes. So you see, Esau tell lies and truth, even in his articles, and just had to pick it apart. You know what I mean? Right, as the land stretches, stress builds along hundreds of underground faults that periodically slip, triggering earthquakes. This process often produces earthquake swarms, clusters of dozens or even hundreds of small tremors occurring in the same location over a short period of time. Nevada is one of the most seismically active states in the country, and such swarms are relatively common across the Basin and Range region. While the latest tremors occurred near several military installations, experts say the earthquake are most likely the result of natural tectonic movement rather than human activity. However, this region of Nevada also has a long history of being used for testing America's weapons of mass destruction, which can also cause the same type of seismic tremors being experienced over the last week. Area 52 is a highly classified U.S. military installation operated by the Department of Energy and the Department of War. This reminds me of that show, the series Stranger Things, right, where they had a Department of Energy. They were doing different experiments that were allowing them to go in like a different dimension, and it would cause dimension, and it would cause earthquakes and these different activities and stuff like that, cracks or incisions into the earth that was linked to another dimension. It says it has primarily being used for nuclear weapons stockpile maintenance, testing, delivery systems, fusing and firing, research, and related classified activities. So those are the dots right there of the high and low earthquake magnitudes. But I ain't gonna go too much deeper. It's a fairly long read. Let me see. Okay, it's almost done. It says the Nevada National Security Site, formerly known as the Nevada Test Site, served as the primary location where the United States carried out nuclear weapons testing during the Cold War. Between 1951 and 1992, more than 900 nuclear tests were conducted there, with many of the later experiments formed as underground detonations. So you see, so it aided in the earthquake, destroying, the soil, hampering or shaking of the tectonic plates, disrupting stuff, you know what I'm saying? Destroying the earth. And this is why the Bible says that the Lord shall destroy him that destroyed the earth. Because when he saw do these things, these tests and these explosions on the bottom of the earth, it moved things around. And it shake the earth in an unnatural way. This man is really taking peace from the earth, man. Yeah, it can't go anywhere. And not even the insects or whatever it is live below the earth could live in peace because this man blasting stuff under there. Alright. It says, although full nuclear explosions have not been carried out at the site for decades, it remains active today, hosting subcritical nuclear experiments and research designed to ensure the safety and reliability of the nation's nuclear arsenal. The earthquake started on Saturday, coinciding with the U.S. and Israel's attack on Iran. How about that? At the same time, the final remaining nuclear weapons treaty between the U.S. and Russia expired earlier in February, just weeks before the concentration swarm was detected. In late October 2025, President Donald Trump ordered the U.S. military to resume nuclear weapons testing, saying the move was necessary to keep pace with alleged testing by Russia and China. There has been no announcement from the U.S. government that full-scale nuclear explosive testing has resumed, meaning the earthquake may be a prolonged stretch of normal geological activity in the region. And that brings us to the end of the article. So when these different nations shoot these missiles and these nuclear warheads around the earth, right, one against another, it will create stress deep in within the soil of the earth's environment, right, and above. And when it explodes, it will cause that lake of fire, of turmoil nuclear liquid, right, where those that are above Yahweh Shai and the elect, the earth is going to look like a sea of fire. All right. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 24 and verse 20. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, right? So you could visualize that when a man is drunk, he stagger, moving side to side, forward, back, you know what I mean? He can't keep a structured footing. So the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, right? So it will move out of its place, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall, and it shall not rise again. You understand? So when these missiles are being pelted, tsunamis is gonna rise is going to destroy islands. Different islands will be taken out of its place. If you are not part of the elect when these things happen, you know what I mean, you're going to be in danger of torment and death, man. You understand? And with these missiles being pelted upon the earth with these various wars as well, right, it's going to create these vast earthquakes in regions and places where there has never been earthquakes before. And I'll end with this scripture in the book of Revelation, chapter 16 and verse 18. And it says, "And there were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth." So like, yeah, so mighty an earthquake and so great, right? So these earthquakes is going to be big. It's going to swallow up blocks, people's houses, towns, and cities, right? Because the earth is going to, in certain regions, is going to give way. You understand? Here it is in the article. It said that when the strikes over there in the West Asia happen, that they received some tremors all the way over here, more than 6,000 miles away, right? So the earth is going to give way in certain places, right? So these peons that have these $1 million bunkers, they even going to be swallowed up by the earth and by the rock when they go to hide. So those that be not of Israel, that have repented, is going to face, these judgments and these calamities via the earthquakes. So earthquakes will play a major part in Babylon's destruction. Seek the Lord while he is near. This is Rabbi Yamyan. Until the next time, shalom.